welcome everybody. My name is the IT guy, and in this video I'll be showing you how to clean a disk entirely of all its partitions and volumes using the diskpart tool in command prompt. So let's just see what the premise of this video actually is. So let's go into the disk management here and let's see what we actually are trying to accomplish here. So I have a couple of disks, and one of these disks has to be completely wiped. So this disk contains a couple of partitions, and also I want to add to this that if you have trouble removing partitions, for example, you want to remove like this EFI partition, you cannot. You can only delete these partitions and this one over here and this one. But things like an EFI partition, they cannot be removed, so it's pretty annoying that you're left with this 500 megabyte partition that you cannot use actually. So the way we're going to do this is actually we're going to reset the disk completely. We're going to remove the complete partition table of this disk by using the diskpart tool. So what we're gonna accomplish will be very clear very shortly. So let's go into the start menu here and let's type in cmd at the command being the command prompt. Let's right click the command prompt and let's run it as administrator. And then this little window will pop up. So now we want to type in diskpart, and this will open up the diskpart tool. So now we want to list the disks, and this is going to list all the disks that are in the current PC and this current Windows setup. And if we would compare it to the disks over here, it would be the same disk. So disk 0 is our games disk, and this is the disk we want to remove. We want to clear all the partitions of this disk. But just to be sure, let's select disk 1 and let's list the partitions on this disk. Oops. And so we're going to type in list partition singular, not partitions like I typed in here. So we want to see if all of this is correct. So we want to be sure that we have a 497 megabytes, which is about right over here. Then we have a 4 gig partition. This is also correct. Then we have a 438 gigabyte partition, which is over here. And then we have another 4 gig partition, which is over here. We can also list the volume. So this is actually all the volumes on the current systems, but this doesn't really tell us anything actually. When we look at it, it's just number of volumes, but it doesn't tell us in which disk it is on. So if we would say like disk 1, if we would list partition again, at least we know that the selected disk contains these partitions, because if you type in list volume, then it's going to list all the volumes on the system, and it doesn't really tell us where exactly which disk we are actually targeting right now. But if we would list the partitions, we at least know the partitions that we're targeting, and we know for sure that disk 1 is the one we are aiming for. But basically, when you look into disk management, you can be sure that disk 0 is disk 0 when you type in list partition. When you type in list disk, then you'll actually be quite sure that disk 0 in disk management is disk 0 in the list disk command, and disk 1 is going to be disk 1 in the list disk command as well. So we have now just selected, disk 1 as the active partition. So now we actually want to do one thing, and that's just type in clean. Excuse me. So right now diskpart succeeded in cleaning the disk. So right now if we look at disk 1, it is completely unallocated. So let's go ahead and exit diskpart over here, and let's exit our command prompt as well. And from here on forward, we can right click and initialize the disk, and we can initialize it using a GPT or an MBR. I'm going to use the GPT because this is the default in Windows 10. Of course, if you are working in Windows 7, GPT will actually most likely not be available to you. So now we want to create a new simple volume, and let's call this volume. Let's give it the drive letter E. That's fine for me. And let's give. Let's just see here. We have games D. Let's just call this one games E because I'm going to be storing some games on this drive here. Finish up. Wait for the formatting to be completed. Okay, so now the disk is formatted. We can find it over here, and we can perfectly copy everything we want onto this disk. So I hope this video helped you out, guys, and if it did, please leave a like and a comment below. And if you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.